whole system. We're not trying to pick apart little pieces and find the pill or find the quick fix. Build the dam here, but the water's rushing out over here. You know, it's not a panic move. It's a whole, it's a holistic perspective on health. And then it gets bigger than the human being and the one individual. It looks at the whole, looks at us in our environment, seeing the nervous system as an interface between us and our environment. How are we communicating? What messages are we getting? How do we survive? How do we thrive in our, what are we trying to tell ourselves? What do we need to know? And what is it costing us not to know? It's so simple. It's so obvious. It's not the mystery and that we think it is when you look at it through the lens of, you know, doctors and stuff, because it obfuscates, it obscures, it makes you feel, like I'm out of control. I don't understand. What is this body doing? The body is there to serve you. You are your body. You are the layers of your brain of consciousness. I know what happens. I know how to react. This is what I did last time. This was the outcome. I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to do it the same. That's the emotional brain. And then the thin layer of cortex that's on top. It's a thin, tiny percentage of the brain, maybe 20% of the brain, 10% of the brain. And we identify our egos solely with that layer because that's executive thinking, executive decision making. It puts us in the driver's seat. It's ego because we think it's us. It's the part we identify with. Whereas the rest of us is the bigger part of it, is the bigger equation, like how you're feeling in your gut, what message you're getting in your gut, how your heart is responding, or how your lungs are feeling, even how your hip is feeling, you know, where you're clenching, where you're holding. That's you. That's you. That's not your body. That's you expressing your feelings. That's your feelings. That's every single part of you talking. So allowing an open channel for those messages to come through serves you because that's you. You're listening to yourself. It makes its way to your conscious brain. And something is in the body because it hasn't been able to make its way to the conscious brain. The conscious brain is the decision-making and executive function that goes all the way through so that we can make a decision about it and act on it. It doesn't hang out in the body and creating, like, you know, stress or whatever, wherever that is. So people hold it in their shoulders, their neck, their low back, their organs. So it's a reciprocal relationship between our bodies and our lives. And that's just us being beings here on this planet, here embodied creatures that are alive and intelligent. That's the big question, is what messaging are we holding on to, needing to project out, speak, express, or bring in and receive and process. Disease and dysfunction comes when the brain is unable to process. It's like digestion. The brain will digest the same way as the gut will digest. And you need to put those things, those thoughts and those feelings and the interpretations and the information we got from our environment, we need to put those somewhere in the brain. We need to store those. We need to figure out where it goes in the brain, what information that's going to hold on to forevermore to give us a coding for future times when we encounter that. So it needs to crunch that information the same way we need to digest. And we need rest and digest to do that. And if it doesn't happen up here, then it'll jump back and forth. It's stuck in a loop like a computer. It is a computer. It's a servo mechanism. And it'll jump and it'll loop, and we won't be able to let go of that, whatever it is. It's still processing. It's stuck processing in the brain. And then that is always working, and then that is always working, and then that is always working, and that is always working, and so now we're a bundle of mess that can't receive any new information, that just melts down and crunches when there's new information, and then that stress in the system going out. I can't handle this. So what do? You help this process. You whoop, catch that, woo, create a standing wave, and now it bounces back and forth until finds a resolution. It comes on the same page. It goes, hey buddy, oh, I'm angry about this. Oh, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't want to process this because that means blah, blah, blah. And they work it out. Oh, Now they're chugging the same, chugging the same, chugging the same. Then this one, chugging the same, chugging the same. Then this one, chugging the same, chugging the same. And then all of it chugging the same, chugging the same. So we're going at this intrinsic rhythm of the cells moving, working, doing their job, everything together, working. And now, we're walking down the street, walking in the forest. Everything's good, chugging, chugging, chugging. We got a nice rhythm going. Everything's good. That's basically how it is. And it's so simple. It's not like you need this drug and you need that surgery and you need to interrupt this signal and block that and then rewrite that and overcome this and bleep, 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 making a stew, getting really complicated. Whoa, and then it's an even bigger ball of disaster and distress and disease and dysfunction. And we get so far from home. This nice chug, And that's it in a nutshell. And health is listening to the messages and being able to act on them, or choosing not to, but that's still our choice. And disease and dysfunction, and chronic disease and dysfunction and breakdown of the system is not hearing it, is not being able to listen and decipher and decode, is not facing ourselves, is not growing, basically, is not evolving, staying stuck. It's control, it's ego, it's not listening. So that's it. We are a nervous system with locomotion and organs that clean and filter the lifeblood and all of the other liquids. We are liquid. And then the other fascinating thing is that we are bone marrow, which is, that's the bone marrow inside. These little nurseries where our blood is made, our white blood cells, our lymphatic, our immuno, cells, things that kill other things are made, and also the mesenchymal cells, which is a embryological stem cell that's left over from the original egg that's in our bone marrow, and our bone marrow is everywhere. That creates the stem cells for the bones and the connective tissue and the tendons and the organs and everything, so the body can reproduce itself. So we are these magical, capable entities that can reform themselves and remake themselves. The birth process doesn't stop at birth. It continues for our entire lives as we make and remake ourselves, as we grow, as we shift, as we change, as we adapt. Like a plant that's growing to the light. We are capable of growing to our light and adapting. Body's always looking for how do we adapt to that? How do we strengthen for that? How do we support that? Is what it's always doing. So we're growing, we're evolving, we're incarnating throughout our entire lives and building a structure around that incarnation. It's beautiful, it's magical, it's insane how beautiful it is on this earth. And obviously in relationship with our food, our water, our air, each other, our peace, our inner conflict, our outer conflict, the whole thing. And then bigger, our universe, our multiverse, bigger than that, whatever, the whole thing, coming back to alignment, to center, to listening and evolving. Thank you so much for listening to what I have put time and effort to clinch and to understand, to simplify, so that we can take it back. We can take our health back. We can take our bodies back. We can empower us, and I can help empower others as making links to other worlds in this way. So thank you so much for your part in the growth and evolution of us all. We're all one in the same way that our cells are all one. And I'm here to serve you on your journey. It's together we grow and learn and evolve and become this one that we want to be.